Okay, first of all, just wanted to say again how proud that I am of our players, the way they fought. I mean, they fought their guts out for Auburn. They never gave up. They never flinched. It was a really big win for us in a lot of different ways. And then you get home and you get a chance to really look at the film, and then you start thinking from a coach's standpoint, corrections. There's a lot of mistakes we made, a lot of things that we've got to correct, and that's what we started working on today. We had about an hour of practice. We had good meetings, and really just focusing on the corrections. I mean, obviously, what stood out to me is the penalties. We've got to do a better job in that area. And then, of course, the returns, the big punt returns. We got to do a better job covering kicks. And, the challenge is to, most good teams improve more from game one to game two than they do any other, time of the year. And really that's our message, and that's our challenge to our players, as far as this week goes. Each week, from a coaching staff and from my seat, we have helmet stickers that we give out offensively, defensively, and special teams. This week's offensive helmet sticker went to Eli Stove. Eli Stove, obviously had a touchdown. He had a big impact play on a speed sweep. He was a guy that really wasn't 100% coming into the game, and we really weren't for sure exactly everything he could do, and really he did a phenomenal job with that. Defense, it was Jeremiah Denson. He had 10 tackles, I think 2 behind the line of scrimmage, had a big sack, real impact play as far as that goes. And then special teams, it was Christian Tutter, punt returner. Really feel like he did a very good job, especially on that big punt return that kind of flipped the field and all that. But like I said, overall, we're real pleased that we got the victory. They're a very good team. A lot of times, you think you know something about a team, but after you play them, a lot more. And their staff did an excellent job. They were very physical. They were very well coached. They had a very good plan, really in all 3 phases. So, hats off to them, and wish them nothing but the best the rest of the season. Questions?
Yes. How much more valuable is a game like that when you get out of it than maybe a normal blowout early in the season?
Well, I think from a coach's standpoint, when you play a game like that and play a really good team, you find out the things that you really need to work on. Your deficiencies are exposed, and you're able to find that out. And I think that's a positive thing from us that, there's a lot of things from a coach's standpoint, we got to correct this, and that. And I think when you play a team like we did, you're capable of addressing them right now. A lot of times you play a team that's lesser talent, and you really don't know the true things you really need to really get better and focus on until you play a stronger opponent. So I think that's the really good thing for us, that we know exactly what we need to improve on now.
Kind of surprised all of us.
Yeah.
About playing. When did you know that he was?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks he started getting reps. And he got cleared, I guess, the middle of last week, and really he practiced the last 2 weeks and was going full throttle. Jordan Peters the same way. Both of them, got cleared, and both of them played, and I think played pretty well.
Was that a surprise? Because earlier in fall camp, you made it sound like he was just
It was. As far as that goes, I was thinking maybe game 4, but he progressed very well. His rehab went very good, and like I said, he started moving around well, and the doctors cleared him.
With Schwartz, is that just a situation now where you're like, let's get to the SEC season?
Well, I don't know. I think each week, we're gonna have that thing grow. He really wasn't able to really practice until Tuesday of last week. And so it was one of those things. I really want to make sure he got his legs underneath him. We need to get him back in shape, and so we just want to get his feet wet against them, and did a couple different things. But each week, his role will grow, and try to get him back to 100%, and that'll really be a good thing for our offense. He's an impact player, and he affects defenses in a lot of different ways.
Is he able to catch the ball with both hands yet? Because I know it's just in warm-ups.
We're working on that. We're working every day on that.
what can you tell me about Will Hastings? His health situation?
He got a little dinged and held him out in the second half, but I think there's a decent chance at this point. I think there's a decent chance that he'll be ready. This weekend. I mean, we'll see, and I'll know more Tuesday.
Did it have on that pass interference play?
I think it did. Yeah, it either that or there was a play that happened right before half.
We saw Boobie Whitlow play solid in week 1 last year. He did the same thing this year. What's it say about a young guy to be ready week 1 to do this?
Yeah, there was some tough yards too. They gave us some defensive looks really that that we really weren't expecting that the coordinator didn't do at Boise State, and so it was some adjustment time, and they moved a lot out of odd, and so there were some hard yards. I think our line in the second half, we started staying more vertical and getting more push, and it allowed our running backs, to have some creases, but Boobie ran hard.
TD sounded like he had a pretty good camp, and then he just had a handful of snaps last night. What was going on?
Yeah, he had a little injury that kind of happened during the week, and so that kind of set him back, and we're hoping to get him back full speed here in the near future.
After watching the film, how kind of would you assess your first game back as being a play caller and how all that went yesterday?
I mean, there was good and bad, and I'd like to have that one back, 1st and goal from the 3. That was just a bad play call. We need to go downhill more than that, but it was good. And you learn your team, you learn your quarterback, and everything that goes with that in a game like that. So, it was good.
Gus, obviously, Bo did a good job of escaping the rush.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of rush. Was there any thought to get the ball out of his hands quicker?
Yeah, there was, and I think there was a few of those that were kind of 3rd down and 7+. I think, and that's kind of one of those deals that you either got to decide, do you want to try to hit a check down or hit something quick and see if they can run it, or try to get the 1st down, and quite a few of those. Now we were max protecting a few times. They got us off the edge, versus a back, but they had a good plan, and we started protecting, a little better in the second half. That last drive, I thought, was really our best protection, of the whole night.
What asked you about Owen, his first start, true freshman?
Yeah, I thought he did good, and he's the type of player. I think each game he'll feel more comfortable. He's very talented. I think everybody can see that, and I think as the game went on, he started feeling more comfortable. So, we were definitely proud of him.
Is J.J. Wilson the type of guy that needs more time to get in the system, or just why didn't he play it?
Yeah. I think you're exactly right. He will definitely help this team, and I think you'll see his role grow as the season goes on. But he wasn't here for the spring and all that. But he's a very talented player.
You said last night that Bo's got a little bit of gunslinger in him, and you like that. As a head coach, how do you kind of embrace that mentality from him, but also kind of rein it in at times?
Yeah, I think there's a fine line. He's pretty tough on himself. The mistakes he made, he's trying desperately not to make the same mistakes, again. And I think that's a really good sign. But I think he handled himself, for the first start. I don't know how many true freshman quarterbacks made their first start in an environment and against an opponent like that and a game like that with everything that went with it. But I think if you look back, and I think you'd say overall it was a good first start to get the victory. And then of course the way in the 2-minute drive, at the end, I think that was really, really important. And the 4th and 3, knowing where the sticks are and getting it, by whatever that much. I think overall, he did what he had to do to help us win.
Gus, how long did you ponder calling the last play, and were you holding your breath?
Yeah, I think, it's the first time you're in that experience with a new quarterback, but so, in that last play we had kind of double outs and we had verticals, on the outside. And so, the big thinking for me on the sideline, I was hoping he was thinking with me that, hey, whatever we do, we can't get a completion short of the sticks and then have a chance on the play clock running out. So you got to throw it where he's out of bounds or throw it, where you can catch it. Nobody can catch it. And we'd kind of talked, I guess, a couple series before that we put Seth in the field, and if he gets a one-on-one with a matchup, just underthrow him and let him jump ball it. And you know, when I saw his eyes go to the field, I knew exactly what he was thinking. You know, of course, he could have easily went the boundary if he wanted to, and a little, you know, getting field goal range, maybe 5 or 6 more yards with that. But he saw Seth, and he made the play, and Seth made the play, and you know, the rest is history.
Did Anders come up to you after the game, shake your hand, say thank you?
No, you know, I think he was ready. I mean, I think he's ready for that moment. I mean, I would have felt comfortable with that, and I think he would have felt comfortable. And you know, he was getting himself prepared. You know, we had our field goal team over there, and they were almost in a sprinter stance because you know, you never know if you get a completion you're not on. It's kind of a hands field goal where you rush on, you got to kick it. You know, when they spot it. So we were prepared for that, and you know, we really worked hard in this fall camp. More reps of 2-minute last scenarios than we've, at least since I've been here. And we had similar scenarios that the way it played out, and it worked out. It worked out good, and you know, it was a fun way to win.
Just real quick, why did you go for 2 on the last touchdown? So you make sure you go up 7-4 and gets the ball back. You know.
What's that?
Why didn't you go for 2 on the last touchdown?
Yeah, that's probably a good point. You know, right now it was pretty stereo at that point, but yeah, I was worried about getting a 15-yard penalty and getting everybody off the field. You know, we got to do a better job in that situation too. You know, and you know, the penalty right there when we scored and had to kick off from the 20-yard line provided a little bit more stress. So hopefully, if we have a similar situation next time, we'll handle that a little bit better.
That 15-yard penalty. I remember back in the day, you told kids to hand the ball to the ref.
Yeah.
Like it was food or something.
We still do that. We didn't do it.
I couldn't see it on TV.
No, he didn't do it. I think he spiked it.
He spiked it.
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh, he
He just
hand it to him like food.
he just kind of tossed it. That's what he did. Yeah.
So you would go for 2 in that situation?
Yeah, probably would have.
Back to the touchdown, what does that say about the confidence Bo has, not only in himself, but also a line and Seth to get that play done? Because like you said, he could have easily thrown it out of bounds and taken a quick out.
Right.
60 snaps for Spencer Knight. He just.
And he caught one.
Huh?
Did you see that?
I did see that.
That was a big catch now. And that was a big play in the game. What was it, like 2nd and 10 or something
Yeah,
or
he
something
got you
like that?
third and 1 or whatever.
Yeah, did a good job of spinning. He caught it, looked it in, and spun, and yep, he did a good job for us. You know, he provides a lot of physicality at the point of attack.
Okay. And that's what you liked about him last night?
Yeah, no doubt.